Welcome back, everyone. Well, you know how I once showed you a little bit of a game I was working on? Yeah, I'm going to do a sequel. But this time I'm on a new computer. Oh, wait a minute, I've forgotten to turn it around. A little bit. And also, if you wonder why I can't really hear any audio, this thing is plugged in, which actually negates audio, but it actually does pick it up. So I mean, like, it sort of does its original job, but not really. And also, this is the game I've been working on. It's meant to be a, how does one say it correctly? Oh, right. It's meant to be a horror game. Right now, the mechanics are simple. And for those of you who are questioning why I can change the size of this at will, and also if you're wondering about that fix I made to that problem that I had, just so you know, it's highly resource intensive. Yeah, and this little mechanic I was working on for a while, it used to be where you had to move or not move. Now it's just based off of a simple little variable. I'll even show you where it is in the code. It's not in here, it's this one line here. This one line of code does everything, and you wouldn't believe it. And also, if you want to know a little bit of the behind the scenes, here's a good look. If you're wondering what those tinier objects are that are precisely outside of the bounds and sometimes on the boundaries, you got to know that my fix isn't perfect. In fact, I'm going to show a version of it where, just so you know, in a way, I'm just going to tell you how it works, and if in a future day I get the footage, then I'll show you. But how this tiny object works is that it's meant to be a quick fix to this, my magnum opus in a way. The code that makes the game potentially possible. And just so you know, I'm working on a horror game that's basically is inspired by Tattletale. And if you're wondering why the grid boxes are in 16 by 16, it's because in the code around the collision, you can see that the collisions are 16 by 16 for the most part. But when it comes down to it, that's not the only project I've been working on. There's also another one that I have been working on for a while before I kind of had to do a bit of a switch. It's this project here where I gotten some of the code from. Now you might be wondering, what in the okay. Again, that's just odd. In fact, that is not how the game is meant to be played. Oh! I have to make it be on the Windows thing. Well, I already stopped it, so... Haha. Ah, they're much better. Okay. You know, on how I was working on Springburst Origins, one problem that I had was that objects couldn't appear behind you and in front of you. Here is where I fix that. I can be behind this box or in front of it. And I also made an animation and also made a little bit of a hovering thingamajigger that's meant to tell you that you have to press the Z button here. Now, when it comes down to the fact that this game is probably not going to be worked on anymore, because, well, I am working on a horror game that I kind of like a lot more. And yeah, that's right, I said horror. The game right now is known as Costume Party. But if you think of any better names, I'm going to make the reasonable bet that you're probably going to say them. Do I really want to rechange the collision? Nah. This is a placeholder map after all. And what's any good placeholder map without placeholder enemies, seeing the triggers, and having a hacky solution to a problem? Seriously. The solution is more of a hack than anything. Don't tell me how I might be wrong. I just know that I am most likely wrong. And also, this layer, you can tell what it's meant to be from this code. Honestly, I think it's fairly readable. If you can't read it, then, well, that's bad. But when it comes down to this code, I made a mask variable, which I'm now thinking of making a costume variable, just for an early scene idea. And I am trying to make this go into a pre-alpha state that is practically a game. And where, if you want to know how the AI works, here it is. All that wonderful code. And if you think that I'm going to change it, you're either insane or you don't understand who I am. Because I'm not going to change the code for one person. And just so you know, I am hoping to optimize this someday soon. Mainly because I would literally much rather have everything working properly. Because I had to draw the surface above every object. And at best, it works most of the time. And where, if you have one singular object, I can tell you that you don't need me to tell you what will happen. The object will just break. I don't know why, it just does it. And, you know what, just to show you that I'm not really in the lying type of way, I'm going to show you. Darn it, let me just, okay. So if my math is right, or really, if I am correct about this, everything will turn out as I suspect. See, that is what happens when it's all alone as the sole object. These other boxes work just as good. In fact, just to show you that it's the box, there. I am willing to go to extreme lengths. Here. See? What did I say? What did I say? And also, just to prove to you, that would be all. I'm just gonna keep this here and all the associated collision because why not? Well, anyways, I believe that's enough showing you around the game. So, bye.